Welcome back to Bits.
Coming up,
The study of perspective and vector geometries.
the art of interactive storytelling.
First person, second person and third person structures.
But maybe...
The Wu-Tang Clan, a lesson in fragging. Enough violence to shake up the House of Lords and what you can spend your moolah on this weekend.
But first, just to be taken seriously for a minute, listen to Aleks.
Crow Team Serious Sam has a very noble aim. It's intended to capture the heyday, those crazy 3D Disneyland gone horribly wrong frontier-style shooting galleries, the manic hecticness of days of yore. Finally, somebody understands that we gamers don't want depth or enhanced interactive experiences. All we want to do is kill stuff. Lots of stuff. Serious Sam is a shoot-'em-up with philosophy. It's trying to go back to the old school when men were Duke Nukem and hell was a game called Doom. It's got simple enemies, environments, and weapons. Thanks to the phenomenally successful and innovative 1998 first-person shooter Half-Life, the gun-toting division of the games industry has drifted from what's really important in interactive entertainment. They've been too caught up in the race to have unique selling points. Their titles must have the most amazing effects, the most intelligent enemies, the most interactive storyline. They've forgotten the most essential thing: the gameplay. However, its simplistic design does open itself up to some genuinely funny moments. The hundreds of headless corpses advancing over a sand dune, howling with wild abandon, reeks of Dawn of the Dead, and all you can do is step back, cock your shotgun, and dispose of the silly bastards' missile command styly until they are no more. But then again, do you really want to develop a relationship with people you're about to pop? I think not. And if you do, there are some nice people called psychiatrists you should chat to. It's an enjoyable game, but the question begs to be asked: for how long? Quake it is not, and it will alienate the very people it's trying to please, for it's processor hungry, my friends. Serious Sam's target audience is old school shooter fans, those cases who sit around staring at their blue computered screens wistfully mumbling, "Oh, how I wish they'd release a game like Doom again in full 3D and with loads of enemies." Their demented, lifeless, lonely prayers are about to be answered. That is, of course, if they have a hell of a PC. Serious Sam will hold you over until Doom 3, Duke Nukem Forever, and Return to Castle Wolfenstein surface from development hell. And it's available to buy from the end of next month.
Time now to see what you can get your grubby little mitts on with this week's Shop Shelf. A long-awaited arcade port, Fighting Vipers 2 has plenty of characters with their own attacks and loads of combos and moves to master. Oh yeah, bugger, that's gotta hurt. Out now for DC.
The joy, the tears, the heartache and the dodgy sheepskin coats. Yes, it's the latest in football management sims from the Codies with LMA Manager 2001. It's out on your PlayStation.
Hit it long!
You won't get more realistic than Formula One Racing Championship. Every tiny section of track, crash barrier, and pit has been modeled on the real thing. This is a fully licensed and ready-to-roll masterpiece. Out now for PlayStation 2.
Hello?
What's up?
What's up?
So what's up, Duke?
Just kicking some ass, drinking a brew.
True.
Yep, Daddy's back and he's got a big shooter. So if boobs, brawn and no brains are your thing, buy this one now for your PlayStation.
That's one way to spank the monkey.
Next up, here's Aleks with some more gratuitous violence and the creator of Grand Theft Auto, Gary Penn.
Violence and video games have always gone hand in hand. Now, 2 years after its original release, the super graphic Wu-Tang Taste the Pain has made a surprisingly high re-entry in the all formats charts thanks to an in-store promotion. Greatly misunderstood, violent video games are an ideal way to de-stress for some, but also make the perfect scapegoat at the hands of the moral majority's lynching mob. In the UK, Grand Theft Auto kick-started the public outcry that got the likes of Mary Whitehouse in a lather. But was it really worth all the fuss? Grand Theft Auto producer Gary Penn found his work raised in the House of Lords. Gary, how did that happen?
Simply marketing on behalf of Max Clifford, who had the nous to realise that if the game was going to get noticed, he had to bring it into the public consciousness. Best way to do that was to generate some coverage, controversy angle.
Controversy, but why? Way to go. Why was the controversy even raised? I mean,
the subject matter lended itself to the issue of controversy. The idea behind the game was to steal cars and commit acts of violence. So that made it very easy for the controversy to be solved. But it did the game a great deal of favours. I mean, it wasn't the best looking game in the world. So to actually have it brought into the public's attention due to the content made a big difference.
Funnily enough, when GTA 2 was released in 1999, it wasn't pointed at, it wasn't banned. In fact, it wasn't even made an example of. In fact, it was given a 15 by the games rating body ELSPA. They say that the social climate changed so much in that 1 year that the Grand Theft Auto franchise was no longer considered offensive to the innocent eyes of the nation's youth. The industry has courted the aggressive vibe since the early days of Mortal Kombat, when little boys as young as 7 were experts at ripping the bleeding spines out of their enemies' gaping neck wounds. Already, parents' groups were fighting to ban these terrible things that were poisoning their children's minds.
With violence, you get to do things you don't do during the day. Probably things you'd like to vent your spleen, your anger, your frustrations in some way. You can't do that for real, but you can do it in a game.
But where does this fascination stem from? Is there any truth to the theory by the sexpert Sigmund Freud that human beings are driven by an innate aggressive force? I don't believe it.
Video games are only about 30 years old. Visually very graphic violence is 15 years old. People have been violent for a lot longer than that. I mean, there have been a lot of wars in this last century, and I guarantee not one of them was caused by playing a video game.
Are there any merits to these video nasties? Well, here's Emily Newton-Dunn with the lowdown on the Wu-Tang Clan Tang, which re-entered the charts from nowhere.
The recent fervour over Wu-Tang Taste the Pain may be down to the highly competitive $4.99 price tag. It may even be due to the fact that the Wu-Tang recently enjoyed music chart success. But the real question is the game any good?
All out the woodworks, hood shirts and wizards, no match, unhatched. The rap is rigid in the shaft, shiny cop, hip hop to the limit, night watch. Pap mark, sparks, spin a quake, nuclear blast, heavy on the cash, give it what it takes now.
Taste the Pain was born from the aborted Thrill Kill, a game deemed too violent to be released by family-conscious publisher EA, which is a shame because it was the first beat-em-up to feature 4-player action. The new incarnation was rebuilt around the Shaolin-obsessed Staten Island rap crew, the Wu-Tang.
As lords over this weak and pathetic world!
Catch up with the Wu Gang for some serious chop-chop master action. The flimsy storyline is dragged along by cutscenes, and you'll want to pay attention because this is likely the only chance you'll get to recognise our individual heroes. The in-game graphics aren't quite as good. Innovative and gory as the multiplayer action may be, it's still clunky, and while the individual characters' special death moves may make for some cool eye candy, the game is a bitch to play through. If you're a Wu fan though, this is a must-own, as the game weaves reality and virtuality seamlessly. Spot where one begins and the other ends. In fact, the player's deadliness seems directly proportionate to their record sales, obviously dating the game. Otherwise, old dirty bastard would be hacking and cashing his enemies with a wad of greenbacks.
It is I, respect the deck.
Unfortunately, it's not as smooth as Method Man's lyrics, but at times it certainly is as rough. Great to pick up and play for slice value, but only the truly dedicated clan fan will see it through to the end. Only for the hardcore.
And you could win this micro scooter bundle, courtesy of Freestyle Scooter.
All you have to do is close your eyes, listen to booth stuff,
And picture this.
Zits, cold sores, postulating pudenda, not pleasant words, not pleasant at all. But language like this is fast becoming the norm amongst game developers around the globe. And the reason? Next-gen consoles, that's right. Uber-powerful machines such as the Xbox and PlayStation 3 are forcing graphics people to design every last detailed defect onto the skin of their characters. What we want from you is an account of the most disease-ridden games heroes and heroines you can imagine. Do not spare the details. The most reasonable, puke-inducing observation will be rewarded.
Send us your answers via our website at www.forlater.com/bits. Or should that be zits?